What's up, guys? This is Jonathan with Izaguirre Detailing, paint correction and ceramic coating specialist. And in today's video, we are going to be going over the full ceramic coating process on this Tesla Model Y. Now, we are in for a 3-year ceramic coating package on this Tesla Model Y, which would include the 85 to 95% of defect removal through paint correction, while also applying that 3-year ceramic coating to all the painted surfaces, which would be the headlights, taillights, as well, and then also the door jambs. Now, before doing the paint correction and the ceramic coating, obviously you're going to have to wash the vehicle thoroughly, and right here you're seeing me doing that wash process. Now, before this, I actually went ahead and detailed out all 4 wheels and then also the door jambs as well, because we are going to be ceramic coating those as well. So first and foremost, you start off with the wheels, and then right now we are getting into that wash. Now, very important throughout the wash that you're using the 2-bucket method, as you see here, just to make sure that you're cleaning out your mitt, you're taking out any dirt or debris that's built up in it, because obviously it's going to pick up through the wash all that dirt and contaminants that you're picking up while you wash the vehicle is going to get into that wash mitt. So you want to make sure you're using that 2-bucket method, so you're not inducing any more swirls or scratches or anything, because obviously you don't want to make more work for yourself for the paint correction process. Now, it's also very important that you're very thorough with this wash, making sure you're getting around the mirrors, making sure you're hitting all the painted surfaces, the front end especially. When there's bugs on the front end, you want to make sure you're handling those as much as possible with the wash process using bug remover and whatnot. Also road tar, stuff like that. You definitely don't want to get any of these things into your pad when you're polishing. So it's very important that throughout the wash process you're very thorough and you're also using that 2-bucket method. Now, as you see here, we're going to rinse the vehicle completely, and we are going to get ready to do the paint decontamination step. Now, we are going to do this with a clay mitt, and what the clay mitt is going to do is you're going to pull all the contaminants out of the vehicle's paint that are embedded in the surface of the clear coat. Now, when you're doing the paint decontamination process, you want to make sure that the paint is well lubricated. So we're going to spray that down with our foam cannon and get ready to do this clay bar decontamination. And again, you're going to do this to all the painted surfaces, everything that's going to be paint corrected. You want to make sure you're pulling all those contaminants out with the clay mitt. And again, this is going to be a very thorough process as well. You want to make sure all the painted surfaces are well decontaminated, because it's going to help throughout the paint correction process. Once you're doing the paint correction and you're breaking down the clear coat and removing these scratches and swirl marks, if you have any contaminants in the vehicle's paint, it's going to get into the pad, and then once you're working with the paint and it's spinning in the pad, that's going to affect the results you get during the paint correction. So this step is very important and should be very thorough. As you're doing this clay bar step, you're going to feel it in the mitt as you're going back and forth that the paint is not smooth, and there's also kind of a sound to it as well as you're dragging it back and forth with the mitt. But once you feel that it's smooth, once you don't hear anything, that's how you know you pulled out those contaminants. And again, it's very important to be thorough with this step. Now, once the clay bar decontamination process is done, gonna rinse off the vehicle, and then now we are going into the iron decontamination step. So this is an iron remover that I am applying to all the painted surfaces of the vehicle's paint, and this is going to take out all the iron contaminants that are in the vehicle's paint. So not only are we doing the clay bar decontamination, we're also doing the iron decontamination. And again, kind of the same process, or at least the same line of thinking, where you're taking out these contaminants before the paint correction again, so these contaminants don't get into the pad and whatnot. So you want to make sure you are doing that as well, and then also thoroughly rinsing. That's very important when you're doing the iron decon step, because the iron decontamination is very strong. It's very strong product. So you definitely want to rinse that thoroughly, because if it dries on the vehicle, definitely not good, and you'll definitely make more work for yourself during the paint correction with a strong product like this. Now, once you're done thoroughly rinsing the vehicle from the iron decon, we're going to start the paint correction process. Now, actually, before the paint correction process, you do a surface prep spray. I didn't record that, but essentially it's a spray that takes off any waxes or anything, any residue that's on the vehicle. So then from then on, you're just working with a bare clear coat, clean bare clear coat. And then now we get into that paint correction process, taking out 85 to 95% of defects in the vehicle's paint. And in short moments, you'll see just the before and after the paint correction process. But this is the longest step throughout this whole process, right? So when you're doing the paint correction, this is what's going to bring the gloss to your vehicle's paint. This is what's going to take out those scratches, those swirl marks, that hazy look, and it's going to bring the gloss to your vehicle. And as you can see here, just the before and after, just a dramatic difference with the results. But so before you're applying a long-term paint protection like a ceramic coating, you want to make sure you're taking out these defects, because this is what's going to be under the ceramic coating. This is what's going to be there for the long term. Again, this is a 3-year ceramic coating, so this is going to be the finish of the paint. So doing the paint correction is the longest process of them all, and is what's going to give you that gloss and that pristine finish. Now, as I'm doing the paint correction process, you'll see that I'm using a particular pad and polish combo. Now, when you're starting the paint correction, you definitely want to do a test spot, right? So the test spot is going to be to test out which pad and polish you're going to use. Also, you're going to test out what speed you're going to use on the machine, and then also kind of what pace you're going to have while you move your arm and work the polish into the paint. You're going to be testing all these variables to see what is the best combo for this particular vehicle and paint, considering the condition. And the main goal with a one-step paint correction is you're going to want to find the perfect balance between gloss and cut. So what does that mean? So now if I use a more aggressive pad and polish, and maybe I use more pressure to break down that clear coat, I'm going to be able to take out much more scratches. But in return, I'm going to be marring the paint at some level, so I'm not gonna have as much gloss. So as I'm breaking down very aggressively, I'm also gonna, not only am I gonna be taking out more scratches, I'm also gonna be inducing very light scratches. Now that's gonna affect the gloss in the vehicle's paint. Now, if I go with the lightest polish and the lightest pad and go as slow as possible and really work the paint, I'm gonna have the most gloss, right? But I'm gonna have scratches left over because I didn't go deep enough, right? So it's almost like I'll have scratches on the top of the paint, and then under I'm gonna have a very glossy background, right? So that's not also what we want either. So you're gonna want to have that perfect balance in between, where I have as much gloss as I possibly can, but also take out as much scratches as I possibly can, and find that perfect medium with that one-step paint correction, right? Now, I also offer two-step paint corrections, and this will be a full cut, would be one pass, and then the next pass would be a full gloss, so which would be taking out almost 95 to 99% of defects in the vehicle's paint. Now, when applying a ceramic coating, you want to take under consideration the temperature of the vehicle's paint, whether it's also the temperature outside, also if there's wind or sunlight or anything like that. You want to take all those in account, right? So the first few spots that you ceramic coat, the thing that you're testing for the most is you have the fresh applicator. So it's not saturated yet. You haven't had any coating on it. So you can't do a much of a large area yet. So you want to work in this small area, but then also you want to count in your head uh, exactly what is the best amount of time for the ceramic coating to flash on the vehicle, right? So the perfect time for you to take it off depends on these variables, but you also want to do those first areas very small while also testing how much grab the coating is having, right? So, for example, if I apply the coating and I apply it for 20 seconds and I leave it on there for 20 seconds. Now, when I wipe it off, if I feel that it came off too easy, that means I probably didn't leave it on there long enough. Now, the perfect amount of time is when you have it on there, let's say 30 seconds, and there's almost a little bit of grab to it. It's almost a little sticky when you're taking it off. That means it's bonded and it's flashed onto the vehicle's paint long enough. But nonetheless, here are the results for this Tesla. Now, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding paint correction or ceramic coatings, feel free to contact us. Our contact information is in the description box below. We love to talk to you guys one-on-one and see which ceramic coating service best would suit you and also your budget. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.